Hey, it's Dennis again, and today we're going to be talking again about lies. And I'm specifically looking to talk to people in early sobriety, or just anyone who knows what I'm talking about here. But in early sobriety, say you have a day or 2 days or 3 days or a week or even a month. From the moment that you put that substance down, your lies are going to be going like crazy. Now, what I mean by that is that you're going to be telling yourself untruths so that you can get back to drinking or drugging. We often look at our addiction in a very objective way as something that's in our head that we can sort of look at and poke at and sort of kick the tires about. And I'm sure there's some psychology that behind it that's a lot deeper and connected to whatever things. But that's not as helpful as it is just to look at the addiction and what it's doing to you and the nature of this addiction. And the biggest tool that our addiction has are lies that we tell ourselves and secrets. And by secrets, I don't mean you having some great secret about what you did or those are big deals too, but I'm really talking about the secret discussions you have in your head. And like I said, when you first come into AA or you first come into a recovery group, or when you first put down the substance, the lies are gonna go crazy. You're gonna start saying things like, "Ooh, maybe I overreacted. Things weren't really that bad." Or when you're in a group, you'll say, "Geez, I'm not nearly as bad as he is," or any of these people. I'm actually not so bad at all. You're trying to talk yourself out of the whole thing, right? That you made a mistake and you're really okay, and that you're not an alcoholic, you're not a drug addict, you just you like to use it. Or how about the lies, you had a really bad day, and why shouldn't I be able to do this? Of course I should. Everybody else can do it. Why can't I do this? Or I had a great day. What would it make it more great than a drink? Right? I mean, there's always a reason that you can use to excuse yourself from doing it. But they're lies because you don't need these things, and they are killing you, and they are hurting you, and they're hurting other people. The thing about it is you need to understand this is what is going on in you, right? The best way to deal with this stuff is to know your nature and know the nature of the addiction and that it lies to you. You need to know this. And truly, the best way to do this is to get to really understand who you are. And I don't mean that in some, nice, it is nice, but I don't mean this in some sort of a new age, get to know who you are. I mean, know the warts and all, right? Know the truths about who you are. And very often, it's more important for you to accept your imperfections, these things that are hurting you, than it is how wonderful you are. It is in your imperfections that you will find yourself to be more human, more real. And truly, it is how you will form a better relationship with your higher power when you show him and say, "I need help with these things," right? I can tell you I sometimes develop obsessions about things, right? Because I am obsessive. Not anything that's, alcohol related or drinking, but I still will ask God to please help me with this obsession about something at work or whatever. And I know my obsessions, and I know I have an obsessive nature, and I avoid certain things because I know I will be obsessed over that. And it is just by knowing who you are that you will then be able to come to grips with the lies that you're telling yourself. And then, of course, I'm going to go back to the same thing I always say, which is, you need to talk to somebody somebody that you trust, and get the secrets out. I'm gonna also quickly say something about when you're new and you're speaking at a meeting. First of all, I don't like meetings that tell you not to speak. There are some meetings that say, put the cotton in your mouth and out of your ears and put it in your mouth, shut up and sit down. I don't like that. I love hearing when new people speak. And we give great latitude to people who speak that are new, because we understand they're raw and they're going to be saying things that are a little goofy sometimes. But I would warn you, ask you to not make it your personal therapy session, right, when you speak. Try to remember you're there, right? The primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to find sobriety, right? That should be the theme of your speaking. I don't want to hear somebody talk about nobody wants to hear these things when you're talking about something that happened in your day that has nothing to do with anything, and you need to really target what you're saying and try to keep it to something that will help you keep sober for the day and maybe help somebody else when you speak. When you do have something personal that you want to talk about, please get a sponsor. Please speak with somebody that you trust one-on-one. You don't need to talk about the deepest personal issues in front of everybody. There's some groups where it seems more okay than others, and we should talk sometime about the different types of groups. But in general, try to keep it less personal. And if you do have a burning personal desire to speak with someone, just find a sponsor, find someone, a temporary sponsor even. These things will help you a lot. Thanks, and I hope you have a good day.